Hello, my friends. Hey, this is Rosa. Hopefully, your favorite real estate agent. Yes, my friends, a real estate broker, credit repair counselor, coach, mentor. I am here for you every step of the way, my friends. We're excited about things because today I'm always excited about things. This is how I live my life. I don't know about you, but this is how I live my life because I'm pumped up. I am very thankful for what the Lord has given me. And I know that I'm sure you are too. Um, but I live my life like totally excited about the next day, right? I want to make sure that you may have those same feelings, right? And so if you do, that's awesome. Then I know we're on the same page. And if you don't, that's okay too, because I'm here to help you with it every step of the way, my friends. All right. So today is Thriving Thursday. That's right. You heard me. Maybe you're not feeling the greatest. I know there's a few people not feeling well, right? So we say prayers and blessings for them, right? Maybe you're not feeling the greatest, but you can still watch this video. You can still call a friend. You can still call a family member. You can still reach out to someone, even on social media, and say hello and ask them how they're doing. Because when you do that, it's going to make you feel even better. You see, remember, this is Thriving Thursday, and we are going to go over homes. We're going to talk about homes. We're going to talk about finances. We're going to talk about growth, personal growth. We're going to talk about credit repair. So we have quite a few things to go over, and I am here and excited to go over some of this stuff with you. So we have quite a few people joining us. Thriving Thursday is a day in which I want you to know that you have the ability to say hello, drop me a direct message. Hopefully, most of the time I'm going to see it, right? At the same time, you do have the ability to ask me questions, right? So while we're here today for a little bit of time, I appreciate as you're joining us. Of course, I appreciate any likes. I appreciate any shares. I appreciate the taps and all that kind of good stuff saying, hey, Rob, thank you so much. I appreciate your conversations, your questions. And even if you want to debate with me, it's okay, my friends. You can and have the ability to debate with me on things that I say, whether it's in real estate or finances or personal growth as we go through this wonderful stuff. So, James, Richard, Burris, John, Maestro, Gigi, Paula, Alien, I appreciate all of you. Gail, Antonio, I appreciate all of you joining us as we're going through some of these things. So let's start off with the wonderful world of what's going on in real estate. That's right, my friends. You heard it. Well, what's going on in real estate? So let's add this over here and let's talk a little bit about some of this stuff so that you can get an idea on things and that you can feel 100% comfortable about, well, what's going on in the marketplace, Rob? So my focus, if you don't know already, now you're going to know. My focus, of course, is Connecticut, right? And usually central Connecticut, right? And so what we're talking about in central Connecticut is that inventory is down, my friends. Single family homes in the greater Hartford area. When we talk about greater Hartford area, we are talking about anywhere from like the center of the state, maybe about 20 miles out. Okay, and appreciate all those likes. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. So we're talking about 20 miles out from Hartford, maybe even 25 miles out from Hartford. Single family homes, once again, inventory is down 23.1% from 977 homes on the market last year to 751 homes on the market this year, right? So as you can see, people are still not ready. Vicky, Rob, Amanda, Cindy, thank you so much for those likes and those joins. Mr. Nate Cisco, real estate goat, my brother. Well, you are my goat, brother, because you are the greatest ever. I love always hearing from you, my man. All right. So, here we are. We're talking a little bit about what's going on in the greater Hartford area. The inventory is still down. People are not ready to make that move. Pending sales are down. decreased from 520 to 439 from year over year. Okay. The average days on market until there's a sale, right? That even decreased. So there's a lot going on. The numbers are basically showing us is that, you know what? Until we have more inventory, my friends, right? Until there are more homes on the market, we're probably not going to have a balanced market, right? It's just craziness. Um, and here's where the debate comes in. So, yesterday I was doing a little video talking about a new home that I have coming on the market here in East Hartford, Connecticut, right? It has an in-ground pool. It's near a golf course. And somebody said, oh, well, now is the worst time to buy a house. Okay. Well, we can say that. That's an easy thing to say on the surface because we feel like interest rates are so high. Whereas 23 years ago, when I first started real estate, and my man Nate Cisco was actually with me, right? We were doing mortgages. And if I could get you a 7.5% 30-year fixed mortgage, you were thinking I was the GOAT. You were thinking I was the best man ever. And now you hear 7.5%, and you're like, oh, no. This is the worst time ever. Well, it's not the worst time ever. It's just that mortgage interest rates are higher than they were a few years ago. Okay. And in the past few years. Okay. Well, what's happened recently? Well, first of all, also prices have gone up because of the wonderful things that have happened in our world, in our country, in our society these last few years, right? So the prices are up, interest rates are up. But where are prices in compared to those 23 years ago that I was talking about? They're way up. Now, there have been moments, let's just say here we were 23 years ago when Rosa decided to get into real estate and mortgages and insurance, right? I left the corporate world. I had enough of it, right? I learned a lot from UPS, United Parcel Service. And again, thank you so much for those likes and shares. I learned so many positive things from UPS. And that's why I hold their stock, and that's why I love their stock. Okay. At the same time, then I went to United Health Group, and believe me, I learned a lot from them. And I'm not going to say it was all positive because it's never all positive, but I learned what not to do. Anyways, so here we were 23 years ago. Home prices were here. And then they were going up 2003, 2004, 2005. And I'm talking about Connecticut. And then what happened in 2006 and 7 and 8? Boom, they went down a little bit. And then it took forever. We had some years of plateau, but where are the prices 2023 to 2020, 23 years ago? Huge price difference. Okay. So if you feel, getting back to my original point, if you feel, yes, Ivan, I am the GOAT in real estate, my man, here, especially in Connecticut. Come on. I am taking that title. I don't care. I have a couple of people, one person in particular, he said the real estate GOAT, and I'm taking that title. So thank you so much for your encouragement. But let's talk about it. You want to wait to buy a home? So what's going to happen when interest rates go higher? They're not going to lower interest rates probably very much for a while. Now, again, I don't have my Nostradamus cap on, right? I can't see into the future. Sam, thank you so much for joining us. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. But we can say that the market, there's still more inflation that they want. And it's always a laggard what happens. They look at what's going on with inflation and they say, okay, we need to higher interest rates or we need to keep them the same. Or maybe they're going to lower them, but they've been lowering them because of QE, quantitative easing. And if you don't know what QE, quantitative easing is, you should look into it. But the point is they've been artificially low. You see, 7.5% is not a high rate. So if you're able to get a home today and you don't have to worry about rentals going up and up and up and up and up and you not building anything for it, If you were to get a 7.5% loan today, or even 8%, I hate to say it, right? And you are able to benefit from the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and then that home is paid off, you are going to be happier in the long run, and you're probably going to live a happier life. And if you have children, right, you're going to be able to show them that you're building something. You're building a legacy. You're building wealth, right? And so I would tell you that I am encouraging you to say, hey, listen, take a look at it from a deeper standpoint. Don't just compare it to 2 years ago. 2 years ago was an anomaly. These things, or 3 years ago, these things don't happen the way that things have happened all the time, right? And in the long run, yes, you're going to have moments where the house prices go down, right? When things don't seem like they're working out in the economy. But if you try to time it, a lot of times you're just losing out. And every day that you're paying rent is basically hurting you, unless you're not making a long-term move. If you need to move somewhere for 1 or 2 years, it's sometimes understandable. So that is my opinion. Now, if you want to put your opinion in the comments, I welcome it. I would love to talk about it. I want to get your opinion. I want to talk about, maybe I will learn from it, right? Maybe I will learn something that maybe I wasn't thinking about. And I might say, you know what? You are right. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share with you here. September 2022 to September 2023 numbers, and that's available for you to discuss. Now, next item of business, my friends. Let's talk a little bit about, making your home finances simpler, right? As you know, I'm here to help you. I want to try to help you get to the next step on things. So let's talk a little bit about making your home finances simpler and how we can do this. All right. So let me just get this on point. All right. Here we are. And hopefully you can see that, right? De-stress and simplify your financial life right from the start. Hey, Racer Dad, thank you. So you're going to pay my bills for me. Yeah, that would be simpler. Someone asked me, oh, so you're going to pay my bills for me. Oh, yeah, definitely. As soon as someone starts paying, well, guess what? Every day. Now, here's a very, very bold statement, but I believe it's true. So I'm going to say it. Every day that I go to work, I am helping to pay someone else's bills, because we are in a government here in the United States that a lot of my money, just like your money, if you go to work every day, is going to Washington, D.C. And then these people in Washington, D.C. are sending it out all over the place. Hey, let's send $1 billion there, $1 billion there, $1 billion there. Man, where's my billion? Who's paying for my bills? So Racer Dad, thank you so much for putting that comment out there about, paying someone else's bills. Because if you're a worker, if you're out there being productive, you are helping other people. And you know what? Right or wrong, sometimes I am all for it, especially if it's for my local area, right? Especially if it's for my state, maybe my region, maybe even the country, because we have to help protect each other with money and medical and military and some of that stuff. But come on, man. Billions going to this for years, billions here, billions there, billions there. It just gets a little bit crazy. Okay, so let's get back to here. Let's talk about, well, what is it? See, this is interesting. What is it that we can control, right? Because some people are putting comments, we can't control that and so forth. All right. Well, what is it that we can control? Let's talk about some of these things. And are you controlling your money the right way? Right. So what I have here is a very basic list about talking about how, in the United States right now, it should come as no surprise that we are stressed out and that we're feeling this stress when it comes to money. Right. And then there's many things about the economy that, yes, are beyond our control. There's nothing we can do about some of these things. And you know what? Hey, we understand that. But there are some things that we can do. So here's some ideas, and this is right from the guaranteed rate.com. I've done some mortgages with them. I'm not getting paid to give them a commercial. I've done some mortgages with them. So I do want to let you know that. And at the same time, I found this article online that I thought was awesome. So let's put number one. What are some of the approaches that we can do to take out the financial stress? Put some financial knowledge in our pocket. Why not do that? Right? You know what they say, there's an app for everything. And I can tell you, I love some of these apps. There's so many of these apps that they're going to help you out every step of the way. And just be careful though, right? Be careful on what you do sign up for, but you know that there are apps there for budgeting, investing, saving, expense tracking. Do you know how much money you have right now? Do you know how much you need to invest if you want to retire in a few years, in 10 years, 20 years, 40 years? How much are you investing? What are you investing? Right? And yes, Racer Dad, there are some good rates out there. And I know you say stay away from home equity lines of credit. I've actually been seeing some times where the home equity lines of credit rates are lower than the home loans, right? Than a second loan, if that's what you're going to do. Okay. So there's a lot of people out there, they don't know how much money they have in the bank. They have a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. They're just floating their life away, right? There's a lot of people out there, they don't know how much they're spending, right? There's a lot of people out there, they're not saving anything. I mean, I've been told since I was a young kid by my uncle and my grandparents, hey, make sure you're saving, saving, saving. And did I do it all the time? No, not going to lie. But should I have saved? What if I had saved even much more, right? Where would I be today? Now, there's also even this guaranteed rate app, which they're pushing their thing that talks about financial wellness. I like an app by David Ramsey. I think it's great. I think Mint is pretty cool. There's a lot of cool ones out there that you should look out for. All right. Now, number two. So if you haven't seen my shirt, right? My shirt, I'm wearing a shirt that says credit repair. Now, that's one of the things that I do, right? I help people with credit repair. And I can do that nationwide, right? Because I know there's a lot of people that they don't understand, and I give them more than what the typical company would do. So, we're talking about, and I'm seeing a couple of comments like, I'm going to pay David Ramsey for one of my seminars on how to save money. There's some people, they need to get that advice. They need to understand that. And there's some people that know about this stuff better than you do. So, number two here on our list is consolidate accounts. Now, this is something you have to be careful of. Be careful about going to one of these companies that they tell you, oh, don't pay this account, don't pay this account, don't pay this account. And then your credit score plummets. And then they're able to negotiate so that you don't have to pay as much money on the account. And then they're able to consolidate a bunch of things. And then they charge you an interest rate and they charge you a fee. And it usually turns out to be a nightmare. It usually turns out, in my opinion, that you pay more money and your credit is busted for years. I particularly do have a couple of tricks up my sleeve. I do have a system, right, where we're able to work on consolidating accounts, but it's not about negotiating where you're going to actually get your credit busted. We would never tell you in a million years not to buy, not to pay your bills. Okay. So this one gentleman racer that, hey, I love buying new vehicles every year. That's my favorite thing to do. Man, if you could do it, I think that's awesome. I just had to buy another vehicle. It's not something I want to do. And I love cars. Don't get me wrong. In fact, one of the gentlemen who was watching there, Nate Cisco, he brought me to ride in I drove a Lamborghini, I drove a Ferrari, I drove a Maserati, right? And so it was really cool driving those exotic cars. I love those things, right? But some people just can't do it, right? Some people don't have the ability to be able to buy a new car every year. And does that make the most financial sense? It depends on what's good for you. All right. So if you need help with credit repair, with talking about consolidating accounts, with getting some consultation, I'm not a financial guru and I will never pretend to be. But could I sit down with you and talk with you about your bills, what you owe, what maybe you should be doing? Definitely. Right? Definitely, we can do that. All you need to do is reach out to me. And what we do is we have a meeting every month. I work according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. We'll mail out the letters for you. We'll take it every step of the way for you. All right. So here's the wonderful world number 3. All right. Does this de-stress you? It could for some people, right? Save some trees and go paperless. I like to do it. Of course, I care about our earth, right? Come on. Of course I do, right? But I want to make we're talking about less stress for you, right? So that's just going to depend on, is it easier for you to get it in the mail, or is it easier for you to get it on an email? Some people, they don't feel comfortable electronically. Now, if I'm able to save some money, they give me a little bit of a discount, right, on something, and they're able to give me more of functionality. They're able to give me more analysis on something because I do everything paperless. Then I think that's a great deal. But should I necessarily just do it for them to save money? I don't know. Right. So number 3, I got to tell you, I'm not exactly sold on. Don't think I'm all about cutting down trees, because I love trees. Come on, I was walking outside yesterday. We're going to talk about some of these things that we can do to grow personally, and one of those things is walking outside every day. So I did that yesterday. Okay. All right. So Racer Dad says, and right now I'm paying $200 a month just on the interest. That bothers me. Okay. So it depends on the scenario. So you have to look at everything in context. I'm not sure. Number one, in my opinion, I think people should have an emergency fund. So I'm not sure if you have an emergency fund set up. I'm not sure how much income you have left over. I'm not sure what is the interest rate, and what other bills and finances do you have. So it's really not one of those things that somebody says, well, I'm paying this amount of interest every month that bothers me. Should I do it or shouldn't I do it? If you got a lot of money, like you got 15,000 in emergency funds, right? And if you have that extra money, I would pay it off. I talked with someone yesterday. They're like, oh, I had to go to the dentist, and I'm going to use my credit card. Yeah, that $200 of interest every month is going right down the toilet. You're making someone else richer. So this person said to me, well, I had to go to the dentist. It's going to cost me $2,000 to get my teeth taken care of. I'm going to use my credit card. I'm like, why? Why are you going to use your credit card when you have all this? Because I know how much money they have in the bank. I've been helping them for a while on their finances. No, pay for it. You're getting the service. Pay for it and move on in your life, because all that credit card is going to do is give you a false sense of security that you still have money in the bank over there, right? And then you're going to be paying 20% interest, or 24, 29% interest, and you're just losing money. You have to use your credit card in order to maintain your credit score. Not exactly, my friend. If you have mortgages, if you have car loans, right? And you really only need 1 or 2 little credit cards. In fact, revolving credit is one of the worst things for you. Should you have one? Yeah. Should you have a $500, $1,000, or $2,000 credit limit, credit card with a credit limit? Yes, that can help you, but you can't go more than 25%. See, the book, the book that I use, right, actually, right, talks about 30%. I tell people 25%. Do not use more than 25% of your credit limit. And there you go, Racer Dad. You said the whole thing. The problem is people don't have the discipline to maintain control of it, right? People think that they have more money than what they really have. They're spending more than what they really have in many cases. They're not sure of how, when they get the money, well, what do I do with the money? And so they figure they just got to just, get rid of it right away because they don't know what to do with it. Right? This gentleman, hey, I have an 800 credit score and rates are still high. That's awesome. Right? This other gentleman, hey, I got $25,000 available in my home equity line of credit. That's awesome. That's the way to go. But don't spend that money. I met people that they took that money, they bought a car. I mean, they bought a boat, they bought a camper, motorcycle. Don't put your personal home at risk like that. Don't do it. Right? You really want something bad enough? Save up the money and buy it. Once in a while, maybe there's an emergency, or maybe you need a car to get to work and back and forth, and you didn't save up enough money. And so maybe you do have to use a little bit of that home equity. But let me tell you a little story, right? This woman, in fact, I need to give her a call because she called me yesterday. Yeah. So this one gentleman, he bought an RV with that money and then sold it for less than what he bought it for. And now he's got all that debt. How about this woman? She was 70. She was like 70 something years old, and her house was paid off. And her daughter comes along. She has a son and a daughter. And these are adult children. These are like 35, 40-year-old children. The daughter comes along and says, Mom, I need money because I want to do this and this and this. And I know you have your house paid off. Can't you please, please, please take out a loan for me? Take out a home equity loan so that I can do what I need to do. And I'll, and she didn't say I'll pay it back, so that I can do what I need to do. And I love you and blah, blah, blah. So the mother went and she took out $75,000 for her daughter. Now, a couple months later, what do you think happens? The son says, oh, this is a true story. Oh, Mom, you gave Mary $75,000. I need money too. I need to do this and this and this and this. And she took out 75 for him. Now, all of a sudden, she needed to put on a roof. Now, all of a sudden, her boiler went. And here she was now owing about almost $200,000 on this house that's worth $250,000. This is about 9 years ago, right? And she basically was getting ready to go through foreclosure because she couldn't pay that loan, and they were going to take the house. And did the son and the daughter come back and say, hey, Mom, no worries, I'll give you back that money. Let me help you pay this bill? Nope. So I'm telling you, my friends, don't do it. Don't even, I'm going to sound like a mean person, but I love my kids to death. But you know what? Don't co-sign. Don't co-sign for a car. Don't co-sign for student loans. Don't co-sign. Teach somebody how to make money. Teach somebody how to save money. Teach somebody how to use money. Be a shoulder that they can cry on. Maybe if you want to let somebody borrow some money, let them borrow it, but just know there's a very, very good chance you're not going to get it back, that it's a gift, if that's what you want to do. But if you start the co-signing thing, you put your life, you put your home, you put your credit score at risk. And I can't tell you how many people, right? I can't tell you how many people their credit scores are busted because, oh, I signed a car loan for my sister. I signed a car loan for my brother. I signed natural gas. They couldn't get natural gas, so I co-signed for them, and then they racked up the bill to $4,000, and then I didn't have the money to pay. Crazy things. So anyways, all right. Save some trees. How about number 4? Automate payments. Right? How cool is that? I love that one. I mean, to me, I had one credit card that they made some kind of mistake on my name because I'm like a junior and all this good stuff. And I couldn't get the online account to work with the card. It wouldn't work no matter what they did. I got into tech support with this credit card company, and you know what? I could never do an automated payment, and every month I had to remember, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it kind of is. Every month I had to like call it in, and I was so aggravated. And then there was a couple of months where I thought I paid it off, but because it was the difference of a couple of days, they still had some interest that they put on there. It was like this credit card was like a little scam. It caused me so many problems. So, anyways, set yourself up with automated payments, man. You want less stress, you want less financial problems thinking on your mind. Do automated payments. And number one, you'll probably most likely never miss a payment, which that helps your credit score. You'll be able to track each month how much you owe, how much you're sending in, and you'll save money and time on stamps and going to the post office. I mean, when I go to the post office once in a great while, if I'm doing a big mailing for my real estate stuff, um, and I see people, buying money order after money order and buying envelopes. They're spending like, $1.68 on an envelope. And I'm like, what a waste of money and time and energy where you could just be paying this stuff off. These are for utility bills. All right. Personal changes you can make. Number 5, create a budget. Okay. So that's one of the ways that's going to help you out the most. There's all kinds of different budgeting apps available, right? So that stuff is available for you. You can figure out your discretionary income. So who knows what's your discretionary income, right? That's your after tax earnings each month and then you subtract all of your expenses, right? Well, you should be able to take about 10% of your money and enjoy yourself. Hey, Henry, Lionel, Ernie. Lionel, Ernie, thank you so much for joining us. Diane, thank you so much for joining us. I'm not telling you can't enjoy yourself, right? I'm not telling you can't do the things that you want to do, but usually you shouldn't be spending more than about 10%. Okay. I even look at myself, some people might look and they make some comments. Oh, you're always going on these vacations and you're doing this and you're doing that. And I kind of check myself out and I say, okay, am I really spending more than 10%? If I'm spending more than 10, 12% on having fun, I try to cut it back, right? I try to cut it back. I'm like, wait a minute, this money should and could be going elsewhere. All right. So create a budget. You'll feel more fiscally responsible. You will get yourself to the point that you feel better about things and have less stress. Be smart about these subscriptions, right? You know the ones I'm talking about. We all have those bills where we're like, oh man, I need to call that company. I need to get rid of this bill, whether it's, who knows, it could be Prime, Amazon, Netflix, the car wash. I mean, that was one thing that I thought was really cool is I signed myself up, I think it was like $39 a month, unlimited car washes. And I thought it was really cool. But after a while, every month, and then I think they went up to like 50. And I'm like, man, $50 a month. Yeah, I'm going to the car wash, a couple of times. But then I'm like, I don't know. And I love car washes. I think they're really pretty darn cool. But do I really want to be spending that $50 a month every single month on the car wash? I don't know. Okay, so that might be something that you wanna look into. Is it worth your money? Maybe it becomes your discretionary income. Maybe it's like, well, you know what, Rob, I'm doing this for me. I don't like to wash my car. Or, once or twice or 3 times a month, I like to get my lawn mowed because I don't want to mow the lawn. It's a gift to me. You can do that if you have the money, but get rid of those subscriptions that you're not using. Don't let social media fool you. How many of you were on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or TikTok or one of these last night and you're like, oh my gosh, look at this person. They have this beautiful car. They have this beautiful pocketbook. They have these beautiful pants. They got that cool shirt. They got this I don't know, the coolest something or the coolest phone, right? And that's called FOMO, right? You're looking at that in the middle of the night. You're like the fear of missing out. Like you're like, how come these people have it, but I don't have it? Well, you know what? When it comes to these material things, I can promise you, I feel you're really not missing out, right? So don't let social media fool you. Don't, if you feel that little twinge of jealousy, right? Let's get into this. If you feel that little twinge of jealousy, well, you know what, my friends? Let's talk this. And I know you might not be able to see it really well, but let's talk about gratitude. Okay, so this is a perfect moment to kind of bring in personal growth, right? Well, Rob, I feel appreciative. I feel gratitude. Well, how often do you spend time really, really feeling gratitude, feeling appreciative of the things you have, right? So, one of these books that I have, it basically talks about an exercise that we can do to help on gratitude. So, I thought that this would be good to share with you, right? Because we, the more gratitude we have, the more we acknowledge the things that we have, right? It's going to bring us to a place of contentment. It's going to bring us to a place of joy, right? It's going to bring us a place of love, and it will actually bring us to a place of more abundance and peace in our lives. So once again, here, my friends, is kind of like an exercise for gratitude. So let's go over it. So what should we do? What's the best way to work on our gratitude? Well, the first one is take 5 minutes. That's right. You heard me. Take 5 minutes to create a gratitude list. Think of all the things that bring you health, bring you peace, bring you love. Okay, list them. List the big things that bring you gratitude. List the small things in your life, from your home appliances to your relationships to others, to your windows, to your dog, to your plants, to your phone, to me, to you, right? To your whatever brings you gratitude. Make the list. If it feels right, acknowledge it, right? Acknowledge those things, and then write that list out. As simple as that. Write that list out. Gratitude list, right? What if you sat down with a piece of paper and you wrote down every morning or every night everything you're thankful for? Maybe for the Lord, for Jesus, right? For God, everything, the blessings that they've given you. Even, I found it, I was like, oh my gosh, this person had passed away, and the family was so full of gratitude of the time that they were able to spend with this person. I thought it was amazing, right? Now, well, why should we do this? Why should we create this list? Why should we take a moment on this list and write thank you to each one of those existing things that make up who you are and that you're thankful for? Because Dr. Rick Hansen, he's a neuroscientist. He suggests that the brain takes the shape of the state of mind we rest upon. How about that one? So, neuroscientist Dr. Rick Hansen suggests that the brain takes the shape of the state of mind we rest upon. So, if we go to sleep at night and we're feeling jealous, we got FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. We wish, oh, how come they have this car? They have this motorcycle. They have this house. I mean, I'm sitting in a house right now. You know how many people I go to these big, crazy, beautiful, gorgeous homes, and once in a while I say, man, I could buy this house if I wanted to. Do I want to? Because look at me. Look at how I'm acting in this house. This house is so beautiful. This house is so cool. Maybe I should buy a house like this. Am I missing out? Should I have that better house? And then I sit back and I say, well, I really actually do have everything I want right now. If I wanted a bigger house, if I needed one, I can go out and buy one. If I want to downsize, I can do that. Right. So the brain, so this neuroscientist, Dr. Rick Hansen, he suggests that the brain takes the shape of the state of mind we rest upon. If we rest upon doubt, so remember, when you go to bed at night, if you rest upon doubt, sadness, irritability. It may bring more anger, anxiety, and depression into your life. Seems right to me, right? If we rest upon joy, contentment, and love, we may bring more abundance and peace and love into our lives. Gratitude is a wonderful way of improving your life and creating more abundance by appreciating what you currently have. So when we talk about personal growth, I mean, I can't say much more. I mean, that's a huge one. I could take out the Bible. I could talk about gratitude. I could talk about blessings. I took out that book, talked about making a list of gratitude. Thanking the Lord, thanking Jesus, thanking God, thanking the universe, thanking the people around you, thanking your dog. Thank you for the plants that I'm able to look at. Sometimes I'm walking and I see some beautiful flowers or trees, and I'm like, thank you for giving me the opportunity to look at that. Sometimes I look in the sky, I see the beautiful clouds with the blue sky behind it and the light shining through. You know what I'm talking about. You see some of those sun rays come through there and you're like, man, isn't that amazing? Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to look at that. So there's that whole thing about not feeling that jealousy. Don't go to bed feeling that jealousy. And then number 8, build that cushion of savings. Because do you know, if you don't have that savings now, or maybe if you do, I'm sure put some comments here, give me some likes, give me some shares, right? Put some comments here like, hey, I got that savings, Rob, and you know how I feel? Right? When you have that emergency savings, and then when you even have extra savings, hey B, thank you so much for joining us. You walk around with a sense of freedom. You don't walk around, when you have those things in your back pocket, in your wallet, in your account. You don't walk around feeling like someone else owns you, right? Because you're working just to pay. Well, think about it. What did you sign up for? If you want to blame someone, we don't want to play, somebody once told my wife, it's kind of funny. We don't want to play the blame game, right? However, at the same time, think about it. Did you sign up for what you're paying for? And most likely you did. Somehow or another, you signed up for what you pay. You might be like, well, I didn't sign up for my car breaking down. Well, could you have bought a different car? Maybe. Could you have done more research on cars? We don't want to play the victim game. We want to take responsibility, build that cushion of savings. Build that cushion of savings so that you don't have to worry. You don't have to have that stress. Pay yourself first. Take 10% and put it in an account and pay yourself first. Do you know how often I tell my kids this? Come on, you guys, let's go. I tell my friends this. I tell the people that I help out with credit repair with. I tell the people who say they want to buy a house. I tell the people that say they want to buy a bigger home. I tell the guy that says, hey man, I once worked in a corporation where my boss, he was making like 200 something thousand dollars a year. I know for a fact. And once a week he'd come to me, oh dude, I'm broke. Can you buy me lunch? Come on, man, I'll pay you back. Dude never paid me back. And I'm sitting here, I didn't have to, but I'm buying my boss lunch, and this dude's making double the amount of money than me. And it was pretty darn crazy. But pay yourself first, right? It's the first thing that you should do. It will build up over time. You'll walk around with your head up high, and you will feel excited about the future. Because remember, it's you who's in control of your finances, and it's only you. If you don't want to stay in control of your finances, if you want to let them go astray, then ultimately you end up paying the price. All right. So that is really pretty much what we wanted to talk about and kind of go over a little bit today as far as finances go. We're just going to go a few more minutes. We talked about homes. We talked about what's going on in the real estate market. That's at the beginning of this video. And if you didn't see it, this video will be posted, so you will be able to look at that. Okay. We talked about growth. We talked about the gratitude list. We talked about de-stressing. having less um, having less financial problems. And then lastly, I kind of put something together here. Well, it was something that I was looking at, right? And I wanted to kind of go over this with you just really quickly. And that's the whole thing about, people not knowing, well, what are the typical closing costs when you're buying a home? Okay. What are the typical closing costs? So when you're buying a property, the first one I have written here is appraisal fees, right? Usually that's what's called a fee paid outside of closing, a POC, right? Paid outside of closing. And so usually for a single family home, you're going to pay about $500. Okay. If it's a multifamily, maybe it'll be 750. If you have to have the appraiser go back, it might be another 150 depending on the scenario. Okay. Attorney's fees or escrow fees, right? So usually you are going to want to have your own attorney to help you. And attorneys will charge you anywhere between $500 to $2,000. It depends. Is it a simple, easy single family home transaction, or is it something where you're going to have to buy a multifamily commercial property and all kinds of extra work needs to be done? Okay, so that would be another fee that you have for typical closing cost. Credit report fee. Okay, usually you're going to have to pay for that if you're getting lending. Remember, we're talking about if you're getting lending. Points, right? So points are all about, well, what am I paying for points? Am I doing it to lower my interest rate? Why am I paying points? Document preparation, so that covers the cost of preparing the deed and maybe any other paperwork that you're working on. First year's premium of hazard fire insurance, right? So that depending on your particular scenario, maybe if you're having to get flood insurance, it'll even be more. That might be anywhere from, for a single family house, it could be 12, 1,500, 2,000 or more per year. Impounds. So impounds that a lender asks you for when it comes to closing costs are to cover real estate taxes and any other items that might come up when the taxes are due. So if it's like a special assessment, that sort of thing, the lender might ask you to put that into impound because they're going to pay it right from their account, which is basically your account. Okay. Interest. So remember, when you have a closing, you pay from the date of the closing until 30 days before your monthly payment, your first monthly payment. So, like example, if I had a closing today, today's October 19th, right? Well, I have to pay prepaid interest until October 31st. Okay. So that would be what, 12 days of interest that I have to prepay. And then November would go by. And then in December, the beginning of December, I would be paying for November, for the month of November of using the lender's money, using the bank's money. Okay. Mortgage insurance, if that's needed, right? If you don't come up with a large enough down payment, in most cases, it's 20%. So if you don't come up with at least 20% for a down payment, in most cases, you're going to have to pay mortgage insurance. You're going to also probably get title insurance. Now, there's some people that they buy a house in cash. I've seen it happen, and they don't even get title insurance. And I'm like, are you kidding me? What, are you crazy, man? You need to get title insurance. You never know when something crazy is going to happen. But title insurance is very important because that will cover you depending on what kind of home you have. That will cover you in case someone was to make a claim on the property. Okay. Hey, Scott, thank you so much, my man. Yes, sir. Let's get coffee one of these days. I am available. All right. Recording fees might be something you have to pay for. And then guarantee fees if it's a VA loan. All right. So basically, my friends, it's Thriving Thursday. I wanted to go live. I wanted to share some fun stuff with you. We wanted to talk about financing. We want to talk about homes. We want to talk about growth. And I think we did all those things. If you have any final comments that you want to put out there, please do it now. If you'd like to, if you're able to share this or like this, I appreciate it. If you came in halfway and you want to see what we talked about in the beginning, because we went through some great stuff and we had a lot of comments in the beginning, you can definitely do that. But I appreciate you all. I, my friends, am thankful for you. Thankful Thursday, right? I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for my clients, my family, my friends. I appreciate all of you who are watching me. And of course, if I can help you, if there's questions that come up, please feel free to reach out for me, direct message me, call me, text me, email me, go on my website, smartreadvice.com. Once again, there's a lot of great info on there. There's different things that we can talk about. Again, getting the honest, caring real estate advice. Just go to smart, SMARTRE, like real estate, advice, ADVICE.com. smartreadvice.com. But God bless you. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I hope you're having an awesome weekend. We'll talk to you soon. This is Rob Rosa. Hopefully your favorite real estate broker. Signing out. We'll talk to you later.